Disclaimer, before this video starts, I noticed while I was editing it that I do sound pretty salty in this video. That's kind of just how I am. You shouldn't take it personally. And keep in mind, I mean no hate on Kira or SSBM tutorials. No hate intended here. So, just keep that in mind. What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be reacting to this video by SSBM tutorials. It's called How to Beat Any Low Tier. The reason why I've decided to react to this video is to give my thoughts on it, and also because I noticed this dislike ratio is not very good. And so I thought, there must be a reason. Maybe Kira said something really stupid, something that's not correct, and people are calling him out for it. So I'm just going to watch the video. I haven't seen this yet, but I'm just going to crack into it.
If you've played Smash even half as much as I have, then you already know that low tiers can be some of the most annoying matchups in Super Smash Bros.
Okay, low tiers can be kind of annoying to fight, but once you know about their weaknesses, it's just like they're crippled. Once you know their weaknesses, it's like there's not much they can do about it aside from just outplay you super hard.
They get to spam all these gimmicks and tricks for free just because nobody else knows how they work.
Oh, shut up, Kira. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Don't you know how hard it is to work around these low tiers gimmicks? I mean, not gimmicks, weaknesses. Don't you know how hard it is to work around these weaknesses? They're low tiers for a reason. Bowser has an 8-frame jump squat. Don't you think it's more annoying to work around that than to work around these gimmicks that, by the way, are still good tools? Even though they're gimmicky, they are still good tools, like Bowser's up B. It's a great tool. It's frame 5. It has 4 frames of invincibility. That starts on frame 1, by the way. And it can kill floaties. It can combo fast fallers near platforms. It can do so much. It's a great out of shield option. Yeah, sure, it's a gimmick, but it's a great tool. So don't you say we get to spam all of these for free. Don't you say we get to spam all of these for free. Don't you dare.
Fear not. I'm about to teach you a game plan that will get you
Oh, fear not. You won't ever lose to a low tier again, and you'll get to protect your precious ego for the rest of your life.
at least one rage quit in a day, and it's not character specific, which means it can be applied to practically any matchup. Now, this works
Here he is encouraging rage quits.
against most low tiers, but for reasons I'll explain a bit later in this video, this also works against Jigglypuff, Peach, Ganon, or any other character that's just a tad slow. Now, don't get me wrong, if you mess up, then Puff and Peach will punish you way harder than a low tier, but the same game plan can absolutely still work. By the way, the prologue to the world manipulation puzzle game I've been developing with other Smashers
he never shuts up
officially
about this
out on
game.
Steam. It's a completely free game.
We know.
Just as an initial example, but I'll show you how you can apply it to any character. So here's what you want to do in 3 parts. Part 1. Start by shooting lasers. This will get the low tier to approach you. But they're not dumb, they know that you're going to attack eventually, so they don't super overshoot their moves right away. Instead, they'll do a less committal attack, which you will avoid by backing up more and shooting more lasers.
So camping.
By this point, they'll realize that you're just a camper, and they'll start to hard commit or overshoot to try and catch your dash back or hit you out of your lasers. But right when they're about to do that, you run in and hit them, which gets you big damage, and then you can punish their landing because they're slow and can't avoid you, and it just sucks for them. Part 2. Now the low tier knows what's up, or at least they think they do. They know that you're shooting lasers until you can randomly run in and hit them before they can get an attack off. So now they're going to play a bit more cautiously. They do non-committal attacks, they run up then wave dash back, they run up deep and shield, whatever it takes to try and bait you to come in, but you're not going to. Instead, once you're all the way in the corner, you're actually going to double jump away and run.
We already get so many one and dones. The low tier life, you just get so many one and dones, or just people that flat out instant quit. I don't want to get camped too. Look, I know it works, but I don't want to get camped.
Circles around them and start the whole process over again. So now, even though they got you into the corner, they have to start this whole process again and put you in the corner again. And right when they think they have you this time, you run in and interrupt them, doing huge damage.
I'm just telling you, I would have already quit out. It's not even 30 seconds into the game, I would have already quit out. Because if I don't have fun, if I'm not having fun, I just quit out most of the time.
Damage and pissing them off. Part 3. Now the low tier really gets it. This fox plays so lame, all he does is run away, and the low tier's getting embarrassed, and their pride's getting hurt, knowing that they're losing to this simple strategy that's so annoying and basically trolling. And now they have to start the whole process over again to push you to the corner and then try to cut off your escape route, and so this time
I don't know why people encourage, making people angry. I understand it's a competitive game. It's a game with stakes. It's a highly competitive game. It's by far the most competitive Smash Bros. But it's like, this is Slippy Unranked. Are you really trying your hardest to win on Slippy Unranked? I get this strategy, and it's one of the reasons I don't get angry at it is because I know it's a valid method to beat low tiers. And I've been playing Bowser for 8 months now. I think more like 9 or 10. Yeah, more like 9 or 10. And I've actually grown to respect these kind of players because nobody likes playing like this fox here. Nobody likes doing it, but it shows enough dedication to the game to actually do this. But if they're doing it on unranked, where there's absolutely no stakes, then I just quit out. I don't respect doing it on unranked. Just so you know, if you ever match into me on unranked and you play like this fox, you're not playing with me anymore.
Get impatient and run forward, taking up more stage space than before because they want to shorten the time it takes to hit you and reduce the amount of laser damage that they keep taking. But guess what? Instead of camping, you've immediately attacked without shooting any lasers at all. And it is precisely at this point that most people are going to rage quit, although your mileage may vary. So what am I saying here? What's the underlying core concept that allows the top tier to beat the low tier? In short, since you don't have the knowledge or experience to know exactly what moves to do against the low tier, you play the person more than the character. And what allows you to do this without the usual preparation that you have against more popular characters is your speed. Low tiers have to be extremely on point to win neutral. Their moves have less priority, they have smaller hitboxes, they're slower and weaker, and that means they generally have to be spaced
Ooh, that was sick.
in order to connect their attacks.
Ringler is sick.
Speed is your greatest weapon, because it makes it much harder for them to be precise against a very fast target rather than a slow one. As a side note, this is just a good strategy.
Why is Leffen playing Captain Falcon?
Anyone. You can't only play against the character, because although it's a more consistent strategy overall, it doesn't account for them adapting to your game plan or switching up their playstyle. Playing the person is a very real
Yo,
part of
Leffen's
the
playing like a total
fighting game, and it's
bitch.
what makes them as interesting as they are. But I digress. Okay, so this begs the question, what if your character doesn't have projectiles? Well, to be honest, it's just a little
Whoa, that
harder.
was sick.
It's
Amza's totally sick. I need to see that.
Well,
What?
to be honest, it's just a little harder.
Yo,
It's not
Amza.
really a secret. Marth honestly struggles with low tiers just a bit more than characters like Fox Falcon.
Oh, Marth struggles with low tiers. Quit whining, bro.
But you can still employ the same idea. In the end, all this strategy is playing safe with fadeaway aerials and dashing back, and forcing the low tier to overshoot, aka hard commit, if they want to hit you. And once they do, either hit them right before they attack, or jump out of the way, or, as we'll see later, you can also CC punish their attack. Then, just play the mix-up game, and keep them guessing when you're going to run in. This honestly works super well with Falcon. It's definitely a little trickier with Marth, because his moves aren't active for as long, and thus require a bit more precision, but it still works because most of their approaches are pretty garbage. Now, I'm going to give you 6 more tips to beat low tiers, but I wanted to take a second to point out that Mr. Game & Watch and Pichu are a bit trickier to do this against because, well, Pichu has great ground speed and a somewhat decent approach with his Nair. And Mr. Game & Watch's forward air is really disjointed, so it's going to be a little tougher to do this against those two characters.
I should pick up Mr. Game & Watch. I've always loved Mr. Game & Watch. I should learn him. I haven't really been playing much Samus recently. Maybe I should just learn Game & Watch. I love the low tier life, and I love the unique. I love playing a unique character. Maybe I should play Mr. Game & Watch.
So here are the tips. 1. Don't whiff punish. That's exactly the type of attack people are used to punishing. Instead, you're preemptively interrupting them before they even get their attack off. 2. Experience matters. The more you do the strategy, the more you'll get a feel for seeing when your opponents are going to try to overcommit and when they're playing safe. True mastery of the strategy means you're not just guessing when they're going to come in, you're actually reacting to tiny little tells and signs that tell you whether your opponent is really going to try to approach or if they're just trying to bait you. That way, you're not just rolling the dice, you're actually just dominating them. 3. Shield pressure. If your opponent does close the gap, just block and hold shield a bit longer. Most of their shield pressure consists of one aerial, L-cancelled into one grounded attack. Don't jump the gun after their aerial, instead, just wait out their attack and roll.
Or if you're Bowser, you have Koopa Claw.
Or jump out of the way. In some cases, you can even spam roll as soon as your shield gets touched and the poor low tier can't even catch up to you. 4. Crouch cancel. CC is already OP, and against low tiers, they have even less tools to counteract it. At low percents, instead of jumping out of the way, you can also just tank the hit and kill them for it. The psychological effect of CC will make the low tier even more hesitant to approach you, and you can laugh at them as you get free damage from afar.
Man, not only is he encouraging them to play like a dick, but also to be a dick. Like, laugh at them while they're seething. Like, that's being an asshole.
5. Mentality. You have to be willing to time the low tier out. Now, in reality,
fuck you.
You don't actually have to do it, but you do have to make the opponent think that you're going to do it. This will also make you better against floaties in general, so you might as well practice it now. And number 6, misconceptions. Most people think you're supposed to spam moves that have a lot of priority and are hard to get through, but this isn't necessarily true. Low tiers have been playing the game on hard mode, and they're able to get through stuff like this. Instead, be as unpredictable as possible. Even if you don't execute your moves perfectly, it's still better than spamming a good option that the low tier is ready for. Because, like I said before, the low tier has to have very precise timing and spacing to be
What did that say?
ready for. Because, like I said before,
Sometimes missing your L-cancel
the low
baits
tier has to
people.
have very precise timing and spacing to beat attacks. And that's much harder against attacks that make no sense. So, if you're a low tier, how do you beat this? The first and most important thing you're going to try to do is get as close as possible in order to get them to bite without overstepping your boundaries. Along the same lines, you basically slowly pressure them into the corner and then try to cut off their escape route. The second thing is to not get tilted by projectiles. You can get hit by like 6 Falco lasers and it's no big deal. You just take 14% and that's it. On the flip side, getting hit by even a basic Falco combo means you're taking at least 35%, but probably more if the Falco has a good punish game. Getting hit by 10 lasers and then doing a combo to them actually means you win the attrition war. But in addition to that, power shielding or even just blocking lasers is going to help you out a ton, especially if you're a character that dies at lower percents. That having been said, if you're on Battlefield or Dreamland, you actually just can't reach the top platform, and they have more time to react because they're faster and can switch gears sooner than you can. So in reality, it's just really hard, and you're honestly in for a long game. The more patience you have, the more laser damage you take. The less patience you have, the easier it is for them to get an opening. So you're basically going to have to outplay them many more times than they outplay you in order to win. And a lot of that's going to come from super duper hard reads. But that's why you're a low tier anyway. Thanks again, everyone. A quick reminder that you can try out our game for free on Steam. And unlike this beat you, I'll see you guys next time.
Ah, man, that's sad. Rip Pichu. Alright, so I'm going to sum up my thoughts on this video. A lot of the strategies mentioned do work very well. Now, as for Bowser in particular, there are a few things he missed. But do you think I'm going to tell you? Do you think I am going to tell you how to beat Bowser? Because I won't. I just won't. Not a chance. So, I'd say overall, against the rest of the low tiers, this video is actually very informative and it does help. Although something I think is just really just a dick move is encouraging them to be a dick. Like at that one point where it's like, laugh at the low tier while he struggles so hard. It's like that is just uncalled for and unnecessary. And I can't stress how much I disagree with it. It's just like, you can play like a jerk, fine. It's a valid way of winning, but don't be a jerk too. That's pretty much, that's going to be it for this video. That's all I really have to say. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.